a mountain of the metal is going to come out of the river. And when that happens, we are not allowed to touch that gold. But did the Prophet not say, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, did he not say, اتقوا فراسة المؤمن فإنه ينظر بنور الله? Fear the firasa, the wisdom based on internal, intuitive, spiritual insight of the believer, because when he sees with more than a PhD from USM. He sees with the nur of Allah. And if he is seeing with the nur of Allah, will new knowledge not come? And so we say the mountain is not an actual mountain. The word mountain symbolizes a very large quantity. And we say the gold is going to come out of the river has already come. It's not the metal, but it is something that's going to come out from under the river, which will function as gold. And therefore it is oil. The oil has come out from underneath the river, that entire basin. All the oil of Saudi Arabia is right there, this side of the sea. Kuwait, Abu Dhabi, Iraq, Iran, all of it right there, by the river Euphrates. So we say it is oil. And we say that mountain of gold has already come, the oil is already here. And we say that there are two reasons why he does not want us to touch that oil. Two reasons. But before we explain the two reasons, he said that people are going to fight over that oil. And 99 out of every 100 will be killed. You don't need a PhD in military science to understand that conventional wars don't kill 99 out of every 100. No. So he's saying that you're going to have something like nuclear war, which kills 99 out of every 100. And so the battle that is now taking place in that region of the world, we can close our eyes and tell you it's going to lead to nuclear warfare because of this study. When nuclear warfare takes place, provoked by the Zionists, unleashed by the Zionists, I want to warn the Jews that mankind is going to hate you. The tide is going to turn against you all over the world. When millions and millions and millions are killed because you are unleashing these wars. Now let's go back. Don't touch that gold. One reason why we should not touch that gold has been with us for the last 40 years, but we didn't see it, including me. The other reason why we should not touch that gold is about to be understood. They don't teach the subject in the Darul Uloom. So our ulama have no knowledge of this subject. International monetary economics. In 1944, at Bretton Woods, the Zionists were able to pull off a magnificent victory in the creation of a new international monetary system in which only one paper money, only one, would function as a check that you can cash. A paper note is like a check. I owe you some money, so I write out a statement and I sign. It's a legal document, provided I can cash it. It's valid, it's halal. So the US dollar was chosen. And the US dollar was convertible into gold at $35 for 1 ounce. International law required the United States to change US dollars to gold, $35 an ounce. The problem was only governments could change. People could not. So that was 99% haram, 41% halal. But nobody went to Uncle Sam to change the dollars for gold. Until in 1971, I think it was Britain that did it, or France, one or the other. And the United States knew that the game was up. We didn't have enough gold for all the paper we printed. It's like writing checks and you don't have the money in your account. You go to jail for that. So what the United States did in September 1971, and they have explained this here in Gidang in the past, was to repudiate Bretton Woods and the International Monetary Fund. Try it. The US dollar is no longer convertible into gold. Well, if the US dollar is not convertible into gold, and we printed too many US dollars, so we don't have the gold to back it, what's going to happen? People are going to realize that this paper is very weak, and they're going to start turning away from it, and the US dollar is going to keep on falling and falling and falling in value like this Bangladeshi taka. So the United States needed something to replace the gold. And guess what they did? After, of course, assassinating King Faisal. In 1975, just after Faisal was assassinated, and the Saudis learned their lesson, you don't step on Uncle Sam's toes anymore. The Saudis agreed. And then they got the rest of the Arab producing countries to agree that we're going to use oil as gold. Meaning, nobody can buy oil without paying for it with US dollars. So whereas the US dollar had a backing of gold before, it's now backed by oil. Since 1975. And so the US dollar became known since 1975 as the petrodollar. This is the hadith. But nobody could understand it until today. If we had understood this hadith, no Muslim with love for Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam in Islam would ever touch a US dollar. Because he said the believers must not touch it. If we had understood this hadith, no Muslim would have touched the US dollar. And then we could have recognized the Saudis for what they are, traitors. Saudi Arabia today is Israel's most strategic ally in the world. And the Saudis and the Israelis are working together to bring down Uncle Sam. Oh yes, that's what happening now. So that's the first reason why he said don't touch that gold. The second reason we're about to understand now. The second reason is coming now. Don't touch that. Oil. What they did was, the Zionists, wherever in the world oil was discovered, they wanted to control it. They must have control over it. So when Dr. Muhammad Masandik, I'm taking too much time, only a few more minutes, nationalized Iranian oil in 1952, the CIA organized a coup d'etat to bring it down so they could recover control over the oil. They invaded Iraq to take control of Iraqi oil. They've taken control of Libyan oil. They've always had control over Saudi oil. They want control over Iranian oil. Why do the Zionists want to control all the oil of the world? Why? Why is it it's only a matter of time before Hugo Chavez is taken over in Venezuela? Why? Because when Israel takes over from the United States as the next ruling state of the world, and that's tomorrow's analysis, Israel wants to control all the oil. And when the US dollar collapses and brings down all the rest of the money in the world with it, not so much the hard currency like the Singapore dollar and the Australian dollar, but the Bangladeshi taka, the Pakistani rupee and the Indonesian rupee and the Egyptian pound and so on, and the Turkish lira, then suddenly all of these masses of people are going to be much poorer than they already are. With the collapse of money. Your Pakistani rupee will be falling in value so fast that one loaf of bread will change price 4 times during the day. It has happened many times in history. Runaway inflation. If we were not using this bogus, fraudulent, haram paper money, we'd never know inflation. Not with gold and silver. And so now you are much poorer than you were before. But the price of oil has gone up 4, 5, 10 times. And Israel controls the oil. But you need the oil. Because you walked into the trap. Blind, because you didn't have ulama. No. Your Darul Ulooms were not producing ulama. And so you walked into the trap. Your entire transportation system now is dependent on oil. Everything that moves is dependent on oil except bicycle. Thank Allah, finance still has some bicycle rickshaws. Your agriculture is dependent on oil, fertilizers. Your manufacturing is dependent on oil, your factories. So if you don't have oil, you're going to have riots. If you do not have oil, you're going to have riots. You don't have the money to buy the oil. Beyond your reach. Well, then what are you going to do? You're trapped. You're going to have to bow down and worship the Dajjal. That's the price you'll have to pay. When you bow down and worship the Dajjal, then you will extend diplomatic recognition to Israel. And you'll have an Israeli diplomatic embassy in Kuala Lumpur. And the Israeli ambassador will be sitting very comfortably in Kuala Lumpur eating satay. Oh yes, that's why he said, don't touch the boat. We are now trapped and there is no way out. And the reason why we are trapped and there is no way out is because we didn't have ulama who could understand the world of politics and the world of economics.